Park were organized, two organizations here come, Organization for Action and Protect Minnesota, gathered to commemorate 6 months anniversary of the tragedy of Newtown 6 months ago and raise the awareness of gun violence in this country and making sure that our politician is listening and we're not going to go away. And they song, "We shall overcome," and we shall overcome someday. Matter of fact, they say today. What's going on today?
My name is Jan Corsol, and I am on the core team of OFA, which means Organizing for Action. It is a grassroots group, and what this occasion is tonight is a commemorating of the 6-month anniversary of the killing of the 20 children in Newtown, Connecticut, and the 6 teachers. So we're gathering folks here to try to rev up our courage and to confront our state legislatures and Washington, D.C., of course, to try to get some control on gun violence so that children and all of us can feel safe when we're out and walking around.
Over a good estimate of 40% of gun sales have no background check whatsoever, and we have to get the guns out of the hands of people that shouldn't be owning firearms.
What is the biggest argument for gun control from your perspective?
Life. Just God is very pro-life. It just started back in creation in Genesis. Everything was about peace. Everything was about getting, just being brothers and sisters, and just taking care of each other.
Gun culture in our state, hunters, NRA members, gun rights activists, and they have been a very vocal group, especially during the legislative session. The NRA really whipped those people up, and they were showing up with their guns, carrying their guns. There's no signs at the Capitol saying you can't carry guns on the premises.
Your organization is grassroots.
Yes.
You get people, mobilized and excited, and then what? What's next after an event like that?
For example, tonight, the media clips that are generated by these type of events. Congress, the people in Washington live on the bites of what shows up in their local media. So any event that we put on any of these issues, and we are in support of the president's second-term agenda, and but any of these issues that will show up in the news, these people in Washington pay attention to. They're like, oh.
What is the biggest obstacle for gun control in your
The biggest obstacle is, I would say, the gun manufacturing industry and their henchmen, if you will. Even the NRA, my understanding is that once upon a time the NRA was about responsible gun use and used to train people how to use guns well. And then some time ago, a faction of probably representatives of gun manufacturers took over, if you will, the NRA, got the leadership that would support the manufacture of guns, and now I believe the NRA is about making money for the gun lobby.
What about the American culture and guns and violence?
I think it goes back in our history. We're a very frontier country. We started. It goes back to the Revolution. That to be a free nation, we had to fight. In order to expand, westward, we had to fight. Just unfortunately, we had to fight Native Americans, which is really a dark stain, on our history. But to expand, we had to use guns.
Senators or congressmen doing in Minnesota, are they?
Both Amy Klobuchar and Al Franken voted for the Manchin-Toomey amendment. When it came up for a vote, it was about a month and a half ago, and we heard that congressional district, our Representative Keith Ellison is very supportive of it. So we're working on legislators that we hope will be leaders and push this through the House of Representatives once we get it passed through the Senate, one step at a time.
Well, Council Dan Samuel and from Ward 5, and he's coming for this 6 months anniversary of the massacre of Newtown, the tragedy over there. Tell us a little bit about why you are here, sir.
Well, I'm here because I think that we can't let these things fade from our memory. You remember right after the massacre, everybody was willing to do something. In fact, some people who were very much on the extreme conservative end of this were saying, okay, this time we have to do something. And many of those people, as the days went by, began to backtrack.
If people were listened to, all of this would have been done a long time ago, because the people are, in fact, passionate about ending gun violence. I think there isn't a state in the union where 80% of the population doesn't support gun violence. But we're seeing the result of gun lobby money preventing the people from being hurt. People want gun violence to stop.
It seems like the majority of American people are for gun control. But why it's not happening? What's the role of you guys? Why not taking the will of the people and materialize
Well, the will of the people is a feature in politicians' lives, but also there is their capacity to persuade the people to will them back into office. And it's a very circular thing.
I see.
So here are the people vote for me. Here is the person who funds my campaign, so I can persuade the people to vote for me. So politicians sometimes make a decision, do I cater to the people, or do I cater to the funders of my campaign so I can persuade the people? So
the will of God is not violence. The will of God is that we treat each other, with dignity and humanity.
You think the bigger challenge is how the system works and how the American people are really mobilized for
well, I think to a certain degree it's a system, but every system is going to be imperfect and flawed. We can create better systems. But I think even more sustainable is if we create a better culture. A culture of intolerance, of violence, a culture of honoring of life, respect for life. And then that begins to change the politicians. And, we can have a country that is actually less restrictive than us or equally restrictive, but the culture is not as violent. Yeah. And so I think doing things that demonstrate our culture shift is really important. That's why I think an event like this that says 6 months after a disaster, the folks, people all around the country care so much about it, are so moved by it, that they're still expressing that grief.
We shall overcome.